I promised is I will do the daily free streaming. What has left? No, first I would like to ask, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you healthy? Are you away from this bloody virus? This I want to know first. And later on I will continue. So if you're okay, so I promised I will do a daily free streamings, and what I'm still trying to promise is that it will be Lean Six Sigma project books, definitely. It will be free and streaming, definitely. But recently I failed to be daily, and I failed also to be exactly on the same time. It happens that with trying to be on the surface under such circumstances, it's quite difficult for me to promise and to keep every day the same time. I think next week, like from the middle of next week, I will be able to come back every day 6 o'clock Central European time. So it will be no, 4 o'clock Central European time. So for part of you it will be quite late, or in the before the lunch. But for the next few days, I'm sorry, I will not be able to promise you the daily free streamings, and especially on every and accurate hours. But I will do my best to really be daily, and always at the time that I will be able to spend with you at least 1 hour and talk about the topics. Okay, so I'm sorry for that. I know that to be consistent, to be on time, to be to keep the promises is very important. So I am very sorry for that. So I put the daily in brackets, in quotes, just because right now I cannot promise this. But I will try to be every day. I cannot promise what time it will be. So, in majority I see that you are looking. Hello, Rafał. Great. So, but in majority I know that you are watching the materials offline. So anyway, you are working and living in the different time zones, and it would be totally extremely difficult to find one time in a day that will fit and suits all your timetables and all your plans. So anyway, I understand that the materials and what I'm recording will be verified, or you will see it offline. So anyway, but if you are online, if you catch me on this online daily free streamings, I really recommend to give some information on the chat, to write hello, to say how are you. If you have some questions regarding a particular subject we are touching right now during this daily streaming, please ask the questions. I'm trying to I'm trying to see who is watching me on YouTube and on Facebook as well, because this streaming is streamed, and you can find it on YouTube and Facebook as well. On YouTube on my MOD Mistrz Osobiste Doskonałości channel, and on Facebook MOD International. Soon I will change the name to Modway on Facebook, but still I'm waiting for some period of time when I'm not allowed to change the name again. So we are coming back to the MSA, Measurement System Analysis. And before I start, I have one recommendation for everyone who is staying at home for so long. I'm not going out, actually. I'm every day stay at home at our flat, and especially in this room, and I'm breathing all the time with the same air. So I noticed that from a few days I start to yell more often, and this is because the oxygen is dropping down. So I recommend you to open window and refresh the air, and make sure that you will guarantee a new supply of oxygen in your rooms where you live, because you will stay here in the same room for much more longer than anyone expected, and fresh oxygen is very important for our body and health. Okay, great. So coming back to the measurement system analysis, why we are looking for and why measurement system analysis is very important in the Lean Six Sigma projects, mainly because we I'm trying to open also our Excel, no, the Google spreadsheet file where we are building our. You see, this is what I was talking about, and I cannot open the window right now because the sound from outside will disturb the streaming. So unfortunately for the streaming, I have to keep the window closed, but okay. But anyway, it's quite cold outside, so I don't want to get any cold. Okay. Cold, yes, cold as well. So we are measuring, we are verifying the measurement system because during the analyze phase, and actually during the all DMAIC, the strength of the DMAIC approach, the Lean Six Sigma approach, especially Six Sigma, is because we are taking verified data and verified facts to identify and point at what necessarily has to be changed in the process to eliminate the problem and see the change. Or our conclusions during the project are based on data, and to eliminate the risk that we are not effective in the changes we are applying, we have to make sure that we are relying on the rate and on the good and data and collected in the very good way. This the issue of the question of the quality of the data we are using is very important in measure phase and in the analyze, especially when you do the statistical analyze. And just I want to remind you that actually when we are measuring, and I think I have to change something. Recently I found that I named the errors wrongly, not according to the standard that was well known in the statistical books and standards. It means the alpha error is the situation when in reality it's okay, but we assume that it's not okay. So like there is we stopping the production, we do some additional check, additional quality check, additional rework, additional verification, and the product and effect of the process is okay. And beta mistake is when there is an error in the process and we cannot see it, we assume that everything is okay and we pass it further. And just I'm looking for one graph in the materials that we managed to discuss so far, and I see I don't have this. So again, why the measurement system analysis is important? Because during analyze you have to remember, this is stupid, sorry, no. During analyze we have to remember, why I was laughing, because you see I took some part of the text from one box in the PowerPoint using the control. It means it should copy it, yes? So I'm using control, it doesn't copy, that like X, control X, but when I cancel the action with control Z, it's not actually canceling, is I don't know how to call it. So then the copy is still effective, but he's canceling only X. like erasing from the original position. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. We have to ask the friends of Bill Gates. They understand. So, coming back to why the Gage R&R is important, because, and again, see, this is crazy. And then I will, because the Gage R&R is important for both groups of data we will collect and analyze. For our problem statement, so for the Y, as well for the X, our root causes. And if the analyze is a matter of analyzing the two group of data, the question of quality of this data is should be verified in both cases, Y and X. If there is any doubts into the data quality for one of this group, your analyze, your assumptions, your suggestions are not true. So you cannot go further and no one will believe you. And definitely the changes that you will implement in the process based on this kind of findings will simply not work. So we have to take care about the quality of data for both groups during the analyze. And this is why in the measure phase, we are verifying if we are observing the problem, so the Y, using the right data, and in the analyze phase, we are looking. Okay, so I will do like this. So analyze phase is here, and the measure phase is here. Okay, so in the measure phase, we look at the quality Gage R&R on the Y, in the analyze on X. This is nice, actually. This is nice, and I will copy it on social media as one example what we discussed today, and that everyone should follow what we are doing here because it makes sense. It will help you to really be an effective in the Lean Six Sigma projects later on. Okay. So, knowing that, let's come to more practical aspects. So, how to measure the Gage R&R. And as you know, we are also one of the goal of our live streaming is to prepare and create a green belt project book for Lean Six Sigma projects. And this is because, okay, the define phase is already created. We know we have it, great. And what about the measure? And the first step in the measure phase is, of course, the Gage R&R. And we will create two approaches. One is a so-called a light approach, is not requiring any measurements. Of course, perhaps you may say, why? Gage R&R, no measurements, are you crazy, Igor? But from my experience and a practical aspect of applying the root cause problem solving techniques on the processes, and especially also Lean Six Sigma, and especially in the areas when we were not measuring anything, like for example in services. In services, this is a very common situation. I'm sorry, really, I cannot open the window. So in the services, it's a very common situation when actually the culture of measuring is not so common. So we're not measuring in the services, and this is why we have to, to be flexible, to be quite quick in verifying the situation and going further with the project, not actually stopping this for like 2 weeks because we have to prepare the measurement system and then we have to collect the data again, so on, so on. What I recommend always is to implement so-called a light approach to Gage R&R. Actually, we should not even call it Gage R&R. It's like the preliminary MSA checklist. Yes, I will do like this. So I will move the Gage R&R for later, and I will start with the 0, like preliminary MSA checklist. Great. Is it okay? Data, no, tools, spelling, spell check. Preliminary, change. Preliminary MSA checklist. And this is referring to the structure of measurement system. Each measurement system consists of three main elements. Is an operator, so the person who is performing the measurements, the tool which the operator is using to perform the measurement, and the environment. Oh no, sorry, wrongly. Again, why can I write something? Checklist, change, yes. Sorry, and environment. And you remember what are the main requirements for the measurement system? You remember we are aiming to have a histogram of the measurement system which looks exactly like this. It should be a straight line. The measurement system should not generate any deviation, any variation, any changes to the measurements, to the object we are measuring. So it must be not, I repeat this, it was yesterday, it should not be affected by the operator, the time of measurements, and the place of measurements, okay? It must be able to reproduce and repeat the same measurements. So it means, we can take here right now a small FMEA, you know, the failure or the risk analysis. What may cause a risk to achieve these requirements toward the measurement system analysis from the operator perspective? What do you mean? So first is the instructions. So do we have any instructions for the operator? So so this is the first question. Do we have the instruction? Do we have trainings? Yes. And what you have to write here is yes or no. Yes or no. And I will put it in more clear way. Is instruction exist? Do we have evidences for trainings? Of trainings? Evidences for trainings or of trainings, I think. Yes. So can we prove that the operators was trained? Okay. So is instructions, do we have instructions, or perhaps like this? Do we have instructions or standards? Okay. Do we have evidences of trainings? Good. And do we have skill metrics? What does it mean? To perform certain measurements, some specific skills are required, like can I capture, can I observe, do I have an experience in this or no? If there is no skill metrics, it means that the people who are asked to do certain kind of measurements are random. So we are not controlling this. And this is what I say. Do we have a skill metric? It means that we know what are the requirements are, and we are measuring our operators against these requirements, and we know who is able to perform certain measurements. Okay, so these are 1, 2, 3 very important main questions, and you have to here answer, of course, yes or no. So you have to fill this down, these 3 positions, like a checklist. So you are going to the Gemba, you are asking someone for evidences, and okay, do we have instructions? is there the training list, and we have the skill metrics. Okay. Then regarding the tool, it must be maintained in good condition. Maintained in a good condition. What does it mean? Maintained in the good conditions means that we keep the tools in the appropriate place and we treat it with the appropriate manner. So we are not actually we are taking care about the conditions of the measurement tool, because you may say that the most important for the measurement tool is to calibrate it and verify this. Yes, you're right. But even if you calibrate, if you're not taking care about the good conditions to maintain the tool, the next day the same tool just after calibration may not be accurate enough. So again, calibrations. So do we have calibrations and a proof? Do we have proofs of calibrations or reports from calibrations? Okay. What else is also important? Do we have do we have the last point is that the resolution of the tool should be assigned, should be in line with the process specified. So do we have specified resolution for the tool? So and then again, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. It's important to check this, verify and answer. Okay. What I mean by resolution? There is a good practice that the resolution of the tool should be smaller than 10% of the bias or scope or range of the process we are measuring. So it should be at least 1/10 of what we are measuring. Then you are able to verify with this measurement system any changes on the subject you are measuring. And the environment, are we isolated? So is environment stable? Why? Because we don't want the change of the temperature, change of the humidity, change of the what else could be the vibrations may influence our measurements. Yes, so this we have to definitely check before we do anything else. And again we have yes, no, yes, no. So in general we have, like here we have one to the left, one to the left. We have 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 3 without 3. Okay, great. We do like this. We double click, pack, pack. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7 and 8. So we have 8 questions. We have to always ask before we start measuring and verifying the measurement system with other approach. I mean, if you will not look at these elements and if you go into the standard Gage R&R measurements straight away, you will may find problems and mistakes, and you will come back to these questions anyway. So not to waste any time, please verify this at the beginning. And what I do also for very light projects, not focus so much on Lean Six Sigma. This may be enough for majority of the projects. So if you create an instructions, if you train the operators, if you think about what skills we need, if you maintain the tools properly, if you check the calibrations, if you check the resolution, If you isolate from environment, if you make the environment stable, in majority you are already managed to reduce the source of the variations at the measurement system. Okay? But if you would like to be more precise, you can implement another way of verifying the measurement system. And let's start with the basic requirements. Do you remember what we did on the define phase? On the define phase, we have created so-called critical to quality. And the critical to quality will allow us to verify when and if the results of our effects is okay or not. So it's just a simple question: is it in line with the CTQ or not? So the first question to any measurement system is: are we okay or not okay with CTQ? So what does it mean, okay, not okay? It's not forced. It was first. First question is: are we okay, not okay with CTQ? And this is a pure appraisal question or attribute question, because we can have only two answers, yes or no. And the approach is that we first have to prepare samples, and the best is to have like at least 10 samples, and these 10 samples should show actually the most difficult cases. So if you, for example, trying to identify and your problem is about the aesthetics or some visual aspects, so then I recommend you to prepare the samples which are on the edge of the specification, because there is no big deal to verify if there is a big hole in your product and everyone can see it, and so there's no big deal. There is nothing difficult for the measurement system to verify this. But if there will be a small scratch and the length and the depth of the scratch is exactly close to be rejected, and it will be rejected because it's already qualified to be rejected, this may cause the problems for the measurement system. So I recommend you to find such samples that are not so obvious for anyone to identify is it according to the CTQ or not. Then you have to find an expert. Hello. Then you have to find an expert who will determine together with you what is the standard, or what are the references. And then you take each sample and you verify, okay, 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 okay. So you're going with your expert, and you are saying that okay, it was according to specification, it was not okay, it was okay, it was okay, not okay. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I'm not going down. Sorry. Okay, not okay. There is no specific rule how many okay and not okay. Of course, the best is to have the fair share. So 50 okay, 50 not okay. And again, I recommend you to be always on the edge of the specification. Then your verification of how the measurement system is performing will be better. So perhaps, you know what I will do? I will add some rows here above, and I will move these questions to one column to be able to prepare the next table accordingly. Okay, so here we can have a same size of the columns, and this will allow us to prepare this table to verify the measurement system. Okay, hello, how are you? I see we have one person following. Great, thank you very much. Is it interesting subject? I mean, are you familiar with Lean Six Sigma? Do you use Six Sigma on the daily basis? please share with us what is your... Okay, I see the question was too difficult. Sorry. Anyway, so the expert is the references. So hello, Piotr. It's good you managed to be here. I'm sorry at the beginning of my streaming. I apologize for not being on time every day at the same time, and I'm still waiting. Yeah, I'm still working in putting the spreadsheet and the presentation on the Google Docs and share it with you. I will do it during weekend. Okay. So we have the samples, we have the reference from the expert, and now again, do you remember what are the main requirements for the measurement system? Hello, Saravana. It's nice to see you. So you remember the main expectations are that the measurement system should be able to reproduce and repeat. And these requirements are for the operators and the time of measurement. So you have to be prepared to check both cases during the test, and this is what we do by assigning two different operators for the test. So here I will have the operator 1. It could be one operator from the quality department or from the production. Remember that you want to verify the process as is on the daily basis. So if during the normal circumstances the measurements is performed by the operators on the shop floor, here you have to do with the operators from the shop floor. So this operators asked to perform this test should represent the standard conditions. So there is a totally misunderstanding when you are performing the Gage R&R with the lab, and during the normal production you are performing the same test on the production floor. So you have to verify this on the production floor where you are doing these measurements on a daily basis. Hello, Sentil. Great you came and managed to watch. Are you fun on Lean Six Sigma? The Lean Six Sigma is something that you are performing every day? If yes, follow, stay. Great. So, we are verifying the measurement system right now. I am explaining how to verify the measurement system in such a way that you can trust the data you are taking for your analyze. Simple like that. So I will delete this column. So we are taking the operator 1, operator 2, and we have a trial 1, trial, and I show you a sequence. It should be trial 2, so trial 3, and then trial 4. And one remark, the difference, not the difference, but the time between the trial 1 and 3 for the same operator should have some how to say distance in time. So I suggest not to perform trial 1 and 3 just after each another, because then you will not capture if your measurement system is sensitive for the moment of measurement and time of measurement. So I suggest, for example, do the trial 1 and 2 with 2 operators in the morning, and then wait until the end of the shift and do the trial 3 and 4 just before the shift is over with the same operators. Okay. And what is very important, that you have to give the samples to the operators in random. So I will merge it, and here is in the random order. Okay. Random order means that the operators shouldn't. Okay, the operators, because you know what is the psychological aspect of this kind of experiment and the test. If you ask operators 1 and 2 Okay, let's do some tests and I will check if the measurement system is okay. They will immediately think that they are the subject of test. They are not the subject of the test. The subject is the measurement system. You have to explain it straight away. They should not be afraid, but they will be anyway. I mean, there is nothing you cannot do for that. So, to reduce the risk that they will try to cheat and remember, okay, the sample number 2, it was first was okay, so I have to follow and give the same measurement. So, not to have this risk in your test, you have to do it in random order, and the index of the sample, so the name of the sample should be unknown for the operators. Okay, this is the best case. And we are putting here the results of the measurements done by each operator. And for example, let's assume that the operator 1 was almost exactly the same like the expert, and this is the desired situation. This is what we are looking for. The best measurement system will result in exactly the same decisions like the expert. But let's see here that, for example, at the beginning of the shift, the operator number 1 was easy, okay. Oh no, 6, 7, it was very strong evidences. No. So look, we already have some indication that something is wrong. You see the sample number 2 and 9, they were verified by the operator differently than expert, and you can immediately go to the sample number 2, take the sample number 2 and see, okay, so this defect which was collected on the sample number 2, I think is not described properly in the instruction, for example. Or the sample number 9 has the defect that is requiring better skills, and the operator 1 doesn't have the skills, and so on, so on. So we already can conclude certain findings, yes? So let's assume that the second operator, he made the same mistakes like 1. It means that perhaps it's not the problem with the measurement system is not because that there is no human factor there, or like this. This is something in the method, because they are repeating the same method. So this is not based on the operator is not the factor here. The way we do our measurement or whatever, but not the operator. But let's assume that the operator number 2 was exactly the same like the expert. So he exactly did correct. So again, there is some difference between operator 1 and 2. And now you have a chance to explain why. So every explanation of the differences you see in this kind of exercise can guide you to the root causes of the problems and probably the necessary changes in the measurement system. So if you explain the difference why on the sample number 2, operator 1 almost in the same moment, because trial 1 and trial 2 should be conducted one after another. In the opposite to the trial 1 and 3, where there should be a time between these two trials, okay? But I mentioned this already before. So you are taking the sample number 2 and you're trying to explain why operator 2 performed the measurement properly and operator 1 not. Or perhaps it's just a matter of experience, or operator number 2 was working before in other department, or operator 2 has a better has no problem with eyes, for example, or doesn't matter. But any explanation why operator 2 have a good result of measurements compared to operator 1, this explanation can guide you and give you some indication, okay, this may be a root cause of the problem in the whole measurement system. Okay, so comparing this together is really a great source of information for you to analyze later on. Okay, and we can do the same, for example, in so we spend some time, the conditions are different, it's a little bit more dark, perhaps a little bit more hot or more cold. I mean, something has changed in time, so the time passed, and we ask the operator 1 to perform the same measurements again. And suddenly, let's do like this, so he, afternoon, he made everything okay. So even if he made everything okay during his second trial, which will be for the whole experience trial number 3, again the difference between his own measurements in the morning and in the afternoon, this difference should also be a subject of analysis. It should not happen. So you have to try to explain, okay, what is the difference between the afternoon and morning? How can I explain this? Or perhaps, or you can say, for example, it's colder. So in the morning it was very, very hot. Actually, it's opposite. Sorry, actually it's opposite. In the morning it's more fresh. The operator should be more accurate and more precise. In the afternoon they are already tired and it's more hot and so on, so on. They should do the more mistakes. And this, let's simulate. This may be the case in the operator 2. So suddenly he cannot see enough, and he has indicated 2 samples which are originally okay as not okay. Or perhaps he would like to be more on the safe side, because he's not feeling himself, well, and it's okay, it's better to reject something than pass to the customer. Yes, okay, but this is also the beta error. You remember this alpha and beta? No, this is alpha error. You remember this alpha beta error? So every difference between the reference and what the operators are measuring, it's an example of error. Level 1 or 2, alpha or beta. Okay, so after this kind of exercise, okay, let's do like this, it looks better. So these elements you have to fill down, this also. So this is the green. You have to talk with the expert and name this, and then the rest I can even do like this, because when you have green, it means there's exactly the same answer as the expert, and the red one are not okay. So please tell me, what is the percentage rate of mistakes in each measurement? So if there would be, so here we have 100%, sorry, not what, 100% okay. Here are also 100% okay. Here is not, like 80% okay, and here again 80% okay. Yes, so first we have to calculate what is the average result for each operator. It means that here we have to put an average between this and this. Wow, it's working. I managed to put formula just by typing, and then we have to do the average total. So please tell me, what do you think? What should be the best results out of this kind of exercise? If we are talking, I mean, you can find in the books that 90% is okay, but look, 90% is accepting the situation when we are making 4 mistakes. So here some good products may go to the customer, and here we have stopped a good product on our premises and do not allow it to go further, and we are actually paying, no, we have additional cost of like rework or additional inspection. In both cases it means we are not efficient, we are spending more money. So my suggestion is that we have to always aim to have 100% accuracy, especially with this very basic question, if we are okay or not okay with CTQ. So You see, we came to a very practical aspect of Gage R&R, and this is exactly what you can actually straight away use in your Lean Six Sigma projects. This very simple checklist, and then the simple Gage R&R, and you actually don't need nothing more. And this will be my basic recommendations for your green belt project. And but you have to do this every time you are dealing with some data. So there is no escape. If we are preparing in the measure phase, we have to do this for the Y. If we are preparing for the analyze, we have to do it for the X. And there is no excuse. If we would like to really be a accurate and good Lean Six Sigma projects, we have to always remember about Gage R&R every time. The quality of data we are presenting is showing your own quality. So you are good as your data that you are using for analyze. So, and that's all for today's daily. We will see again on Monday, and also exactly as I mentioned at the beginning, I cannot guarantee Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that I will be always at the same time, but let's agree the next week, not the next, but the week after the next, I will be exactly sharp 4 o'clock Central European time with you. So if you think it was interesting, if you think it can give some added value to you or your customers or your team or your suppliers, please share it with your friends and give some comments because it will help also to reach others, of course, and the knowledge and awareness about this can really improve the quality of your relation with your suppliers and customers. So thank you very much. I wish you a very good weekend and